guys, Gordon Bradley from PhenoX Fitness and Nutrition, and today I'm going to show you probably my favorite variation on the Titan Fitness Stealth leg press outside of the actual leg press. And one of the reasons that I love a chest press on this is because of the safety factor. You're able to really push the intensity because you don't have to worry. So on a, let's say a traditional press using a rack, if you want to really finish off or have higher intensity, there's that inherent danger of really pushing to the end. Let's say if you don't have a spotter, so you're going to end up with that weight on your chest, or even worse, your neck. So with this, even when that's in the back of your mind, it limits kind of how hard you're pushing, and I don't like that. So I used to train at this commercial gym that I owned, NFL athletes, NHL athletes, and we needed to really push the intensity. And one of the things I loved about this is we were able to add in a lot of ballistic movements. So that type of resistance in the off season for them is awesome, especially for some of the NFLers. But I'm going to just go through and show you the different ways that I set it up, some of the different hand grips, and also the bench. And then I'm just going to just do it real quick so you guys can see what it looks like when you're actually doing it. But one of the things I changed up just slightly from how it comes is I added the spring clip, because they come with a hook like so. And I want something that's a little easier, so I actually just added a hook. And this goes to I have an eye bolt on mine, so I connect, instead of going through the center portion where I went when I was doing the leg press, this bench is now much more forward, because the ultimate goal is to get yourself as close as possible to this starting point. So just shy of it hitting you in the ribs. So I like to have it set at a height where I'm kind of right in the center. And now I can do lots of different movements depending on what my goal is. So I can reach to the outside and do a wider neutral grip. So if you have shoulder issues, this offers some external rotation at the head of the humerus, which can help with impingement syndrome, stuff like that. So for a lot of people, this neutral grip is awesome. I love, because on a traditional press, it's not that safe. It doesn't feel that good, but a supinated grip press with this feels amazing. And then I also like some ballistic. So I'm going to be throwing this sucker out and actually jumping my hands to different locations, and then finishing off with a supinated grip narrow press. So it's just a ton of variation. And again, because of these pins and keeping this away from you, you can feel really, really safe. And when you're pressing without something like this, it's still in the back of your head that you need to save a little. And if you really want that true training stimulus that's going to push you to that next level, you have to know that you're safe. So that's what this thing really offers, and that's why I love this variant, this training tool. So it really isn't just a leg press. It is truly a lot of different things that you can do and do well. So where you set it is going to depend on your torso height, where you want to hit it. If you want more emphasis on lower chest and you're going to do some supinated, you may raise or lower it just a little bit. That's stuff that you guys can figure out. So with that snap hook, because the bench is so much farther, instead of going through this middle portion and wrapping, I'm actually just going to pass through the back, because it has another metal piece here that connects the upright portion, and it's going to be pulling against and down, so it has a good angle again to keep this bench from moving up or back. So I just pass through this quick strap, which is super, super easy. I love this setup. And now I can get it real tight, and now that bench isn't going to move. So the next thing I'll do is either add bands or weights or both. I love the banded tension that you get with the chest press. The one thing with this is with this narrow design, there is a possibility of this actually rocking out of this when you're loading your weights. I think it's pretty obvious, but I figured I would put it out there. Super easy to mitigate. All you do is slide it in when you're putting your first weight on or band, and then it's not an issue whatsoever. With 145, typically, it's not gonna, even when it's centered, it's not gonna rock out of it. It's still safe, but you want to be aware of it either way. So I'm loading my weights on. If I'm going to be ballistic, I'm probably going to put clips on here just to be safe. Now we're all set up. You can have these skis or bar holder in any of these different locations, just like I showed in previous videos. So the bench is in place. The barbell is now in place. If you wanted to add bands, you can do that. The pins are in place. It's in the highest hole to keep this farthest away from you, so you're pushing up against gravity right off the bat, and that's why it works well. One of the things that I like or wanted to address was the fact that I saw a few comments about this, is the weight of it. When it's shipped, it comes and it's 130 pounds. But at 130 pounds, that's including everything that would be on it when it's a push sled. And when it's a push sled, who cares if it weighs 130 pounds? You don't have to pick it up. You don't have to move it around. You're just pushing it. But when I use this, I mostly use it in a leg press or chest press variant. I use it with just the barbell. That removes these. There's two of these. That would be a weight plate holder. That's a lot of weight. So it doesn't even have that. These pins are 1-inch pins. That's two of those. It doesn't have it on there. So now it only has two skis, and that's it. This thing's naked besides that. So the weight of just this unit when you're using it, probably the way that you'll most often use it, it's not that bad at all. So little clumsy because of its shape, but you pick it up, set it down. I'm actually going to build some racks. Some really low cost racks so you can just keep it elevated, walk it to the wall, hang it up there. Piece of cake. Then that'll just make it that much easier. So the weight is not that bad at all. But back to the chest press, you just slide in here. It's going to be a tight fit, obviously, because you want it as close as possible. Now we're able to really push. Through different lifts, you can turn your hands out slightly, and that again provides that external rotation, and that humerus is going to feel better for a lot of people. That's when they say break the bar on a deadlift. This is the same thing on a chest press. When you're breaking that bar, you're just creating external rotation, and that's like an anti-impingement position, so it feels much better. But really, that's kind of all there is to the chest variation. You have the ability to really push that stress. And then I love that you can move the weights to different positions depending on what you're trying to get out of it as far as your training. So if you're an athlete, you may be doing things slightly different, more ballistic. You might want to pile some weight on there and really try to push that and feel really safe in doing so. So again, let me know if you guys have any further questions, if I didn't get to anything, and I'm just going to keep showing different variations and how I set it up. So hopefully you guys like the videos, and thanks for watching.